Hello and bienvenue. I am Joker, the Full Metal Joker. Now before we get started with the topic at hand, I have to let you know two things. One, if you do not like what has to be said, please remove yourself from this video. Two, everything I have to say is mostly opinion based with a lining of truth. But if you feel like I'm wrong in certain areas, or I need more information in others, please feel free to contact me. You should already know how to do this by now. With that being said, the topic I would like to cover today is one that was suggested to me by a friend of mine. They wanted me to do a video on my thoughts on Anarcho Capitalism. Well, I think that they have a lot of things I can agree on, like the fact that government, especially the US government, overstepped their bounds on many occasions, slightly treading away from the Constitution and its purposes. They add way too many regulations, making it hard for smaller business to build up and easier for big businesses to maintain their power. Also, the fact that a lot of big businesses like to buy votes and try to manipulate the ideas of certain politicians through going in and giving them money to vote a certain way. But to go from too many regulations to none, I think that's going a little too far. And I do understand that their beliefs I could get behind, but there's only one issue, and that is the human problem. Anarcho capitalism is good as long as there are like-minded individuals that are there to make sure that it doesn't change in a perverse manner, that it holds to its beliefs sturdy and strong. But the only problem is, with how people are, with how human beings think, there's going to become a day and time where people are going to take advantage of that lack of government to take control and change that free market system to a sort of tyranny. It always happens where there's no government, things are doing well, and then someone steps in with enough manpower, firepower, and money, as well as resources, and take over. It happens time and time again. So the best thing to do, in my belief, is to take the more libertarian route, to where there's only enough government to do the job that it was supposed to be when our Constitution was built, and that is just enough government to where they make sure that there's good communications between the states and to protect our country from terrorists, both foreign and domestic, while leaving the bulk of the power between the states and the community. That was the original purpose. But as things went on and things changed, our federal government grew to a point where it shouldn't have, to where there's so many regulations to where big businesses with the money that they have can sit there and take a few hits here and there while knowing that they can recover through people buying their stuff. Whereas small businesses are more likely to close down and have a less likely chance, if they do survive, to grow because of these regulations. It makes it hard for individuals to do things on their own property because of regulations. You can't plant this in certain areas without the okay or a certain permit. You can't do this on your own property without a certain permit. Heck, there are places where if you don't have the proper permits, you will be heavily fined for collecting rainwater. Again, the only way I can see that being necessary is if they're doing it at an extremely large scale, to where the water table is vastly altered because someone's collecting way too much water. And the chances of that happening is very slim indeed. Also, they say, well, with the free market, if they don't like the practices of that business, they won't work there and people won't buy their stuff. That's good in that's good in theory, but in practice, if you've got a family to take care of, if you've got mouths to feed, you're going to deal with a lot of stuff. You go just to make sure that you have the money and resources to make sure your family's taken care of. Also, if you're an individual that does not have much money or resources, and a business, despite doing some really shady things, are selling products, resources at a cheap price, a lot of people will turn a blind eye just to make sure that their family is taken care of. It happens all the time, even in strict governments. So what makes you think with no regulations, with no government to make sure that they do the right thing, people are going to change? It's a matter of survival. People are going to do the method that makes sure that their family survives and lives another day. That's why I say, when it comes to anarcho capitalism, they have a lot of beliefs that I can get behind, that if they change certain things, I would agree with them a little more. But the fact that we go from a ton of regulations to no regulations and just let the free market do its thing, yes, it's good in theory, but again, in practice, I honestly don't know. And with how times are right now, I'm not willing to risk my family on it. And with that being said, if you enjoy the content that I produce, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel even further, feel free to check out my Patreon and PayPal me. However you choose to support this channel is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and good luck.